Welcome back everyone to my channel. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. This week I'm working on a 20-inch by 20-inch canvas and also using 4 beautiful pearlescent paints by Amsterdam, and leading off the pour here with some oxide black, my favorite dark color for my bases on a pearlescent pour. Now on this one I needed to just get my black spread out a little bit, covering up the middle sections and making sure I had good coverage right across from corner to corner before laying my first colors down on the canvas. And now, before getting into some color, don't forget to pop any air bubbles that may be in your base color to avoid any pinholes later on that tend to pop up with these pearls. So I am going into this pour with 4 colors. I've got my pearl blue, pearl white, pearl red, and pearl violet. Now, the game plan for this week's pour was to go diagonal from corner to corner. I have an idea for a different type of pour with these colors. Now, I have never gone corner to corner, always kind of side to side or up and down. So we will see how this shakes out in a few minutes. And as for my color, I wanted to make the center of the pour predominantly a brighter combination of colors. So I have the blue, the red, the white, and the violet. So my longer bead in the middle is of course my blue, which you can't tell is quite blue just yet. As we begin to dry, it will pop up later on. So just bear with me and just believe that they're blue. This is the white beside the middle bead of the blue, a little bit of a thin bead of pearl white, and that's okay. Just wanted some contrast from the blue in the center. Again, wanting to be bright as possible on this idea of mine. So hang in there, we'll get to the wrecking in a sec here, which is actually really pretty. So hang tight. Now also on this pour, I wanted to keep all of my colors in order. So my white is beside my blue in the center, also beside my blue on the outside. We'll call them thirds of my color combination. So wanting to keep my colors symmetrical and as close together as possible in terms of what is next to one another. So again, I want to keep my colors in order so that when I go to wreck this pour later on, I have a symmetrical pattern from side to side before I tilt off the sides. And now with this painting as well, I wanted to make one of the funner pours I think is really cool to try, especially if you're newer to acrylic painting or pouring. These pearlescent paints are really something to play with. You can do anything you want color combination wise. Again, I have the 4 colors. There are 6 I have from the Amsterdam brand, but I chose to use 4. And also I wanted to make it simple. Again, if you're a beginner, I think that this could be a bit of a tutorial on what things may look like on a simple 4 color wreck. And all in all, these are really pretty every time because the colors dry so cool. So be sure to try them at least a few times in your pouring career. Again, they dry really pretty. They're fun to use, and really the limit of things you could do is really limitless with regard to color combination and types of pours you can use them in. So go wild, go nuts, do all the fun things, and we'll keep going. And now if you have tried pearlescent paints, either by Amsterdam or by Golden or by whoever, let me know what your favorite technique is and why. I'm very curious in the comments below for all to see. So as we go into my wreck, I am doing my best to keep my lines as tight as possible to one another, because when I stretch these colors out, they're going to want to pull apart as far as possible. Just gravity doing its thing and wanting to, yank them far apart. So I found that by keeping my lines tight across the entire thing, A, makes a really cool pattern, and B, helps to just maintain the consistency of that pattern I mentioned before, where we want a symmetrical look across the board from corner to corner. Okay, and going in for a bit of a second go at some more dimension and some more contrast with the pour, wrecking a second time going the other way. Now, I find that the first pattern I liked more, but I like this more for the sake of knowing each stretch corner to corner will pull all of these patterns both ways and look a lot better, and also make smaller, call them pockets of color. So I found, for me anyhow, I really enjoy patterns that are smaller compared to a bigger pearlescent, drying, whether it's a red or a blue. I like them tighter and smaller in terms of their windows. So here we are for my go at my tilt, and now my change of tilting was going corner to corner in a bit of a diamond in terms of, rather than go just straight off the top or the bottom, I turned it like a diamond to go corner to corner and keep all that color straight from each corner back to the second corner. So really, this is a 4-tilt masterpiece, we'll call it, in terms of pearlescence, and nothing fancy. I wanted to just keep those lines as straight as possible. I tried pulling back the blue line a little bit towards myself as we look at it down from the top, but again, keeping the lines as tight as possible, wanting to spill over this second edge as evenly as possible too. So I'm going much faster in real life compared to the video. I'm about 1.5 times speed on my video because it was quite a tedious process getting my paint down there in the end. So remember as well, always pull your paint back to the center before moving on. So be sure to recenter, reset, and then go again. Okay, and going in for the third and final tilt of this pour, I've always found that it's really cool how as you stretch pearlescent paints out, they tend to begin to dry a tad, maybe getting some oxygen into the paints themselves on top of that darker base to just show a little teeny hint and tint and pop of color. So now you can tell they are red and blue and white and violet in the middle. As we get into the final product near the end of this video, you'll see how dramatically different in terms of wet to dry look you get on a pearlescent pour. So be sure to stick around to the end and see the final product. Now, as we wait for this final corner to fall off the edge, I'm curious what types of pours you may want me to try next with pearlescence or generally going forward. I've got a bit of a poll in my mind of what I might want to try next, but I'm curious for your feedback on what you think I should work on next. I'd appreciate any feedback or types of pours, techniques. I'm open to all. I may not try all, but I will certainly entertain the idea of a new to me pour as well. So leave those comments below on which pour may work best for me going forward, and we can talk about it in the comments. Anyhow, as we wrap up this particular pour, here is a look of the overhead view of the wet look, and I'll show you the dry look in a sec here as well. So my idea was to keep these lines nice and tight as best I could, within reason. Again, it's fluid, so it flows off where it wants to, and gravity pulls it down as it does. So all in all, I'm quite happy with how these colors popped where they did, and I'm curious what you guys think. So leave me a quick comment below on this pour. Give me a quick thumbs up as well, and if you're new, please subscribe to the channel, and we can see you again in the next one.